The shoe vlog. Thoughts? Our bodies are amazing things. One of the most fascinating parts of our bodies is our brains. Scientists are still trying to figure out our brains. One area they cannot seem to figure out is our thoughts. Sure, you can see reactions in the brain when we have a thought, but you cannot know exactly what that thought is. I think that's one reason why thoughts are so powerful. Only you can control them, and only you know what your thoughts are. Whatever thoughts you think about, I'm fairly certain that you sometimes have trouble controlling your thoughts. How can we do that? Can we do that? It seems even if you have the best intentions and wish you could stop thinking negative things, they just come back up. I have found that thoughts can be fit into a few categories. First, surface level immediate thoughts. Things you think about that don't really have much meaning. I mean, while I believe the thought, I would really like a chocolate milkshake, is an incredible thought, it doesn't serve much in the long run, other than maybe getting a chocolate milkshake. Surface level future thoughts. This is when you think about the things you need to do, like get groceries or get some things done for that project at work. Intelligent, intellectual thoughts. This is my way of saying deep thinking. Most of the time, I feel, our brains don't go into deep thinking unless we are in school, in a thought-provoking conversation, reading a book, etc. You could even borderline throw overthinking in here. An important note, this type of thinking can be considered both good and bad depending on what you are thinking about. Negative, woe is me thoughts. When it is a rainy day and all the thoughts you have are just bad. Like, can things get much worse thoughts? Not very healthy thoughts. Godly, grateful thoughts. Not that things are always going to be amazing in our lives, but there's always something to be grateful for. While there may be some other areas of thoughts, many of them could probably fit into these categories. Looking at these categories, ask yourself which ones tend to go through your brain the most. I'm not saying there's any wrong category to be in the most. It's okay if you have all these kinds of thoughts, but I'm saying you should not be stuck in just one area of these thoughts. Well, not stuck in all but one. Godly, grateful thoughts should be where we land most of the time. It would be amazing if we were stuck, not in a bad way, in that area of thought. But I'm thinking that much of the time that's not where your thoughts land. I'm the same way. How then do we change our thinking so we can have more godly, grateful thoughts? First off, I want to remind you that it is possible to change our way of thinking, lest you be tempted to say it's impossible, which you should not say, as nothing is impossible with God. 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 says, "The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." See, Satan has this horrid habit of trying to get into our brains. He likes to tell us lies. He likes to deceive. He likes to detain us. I think that's why Paul told the Corinthians that they can take their thoughts captive. We have the power through Christ to tell Satan to get out. Now, how do we change our thinking? We think about whatever. What do you mean, whatever? I already think about whatever. I won daily, and that hasn't helped me. I mean, we think of the whatever verse. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." These are the things our thoughts should be focused on Christ-like thoughts, focused on his word so we can refute the lies of the liar, focused on the truth about how God feels about us, focused on reflecting God's glory in all we think, say, and do. Because while we may not be able to see and know your thoughts, there is someone who does. So do you have a problem with thinking too many surface level or negative thoughts? What will you do to change your way of thinking? I encourage you to make an action plan today to help you change your way of thinking.